What has happened in BC Spirits? Spirit of Day number 62. I want to touch on something that I didn't biff on purpose. It was just something that later on I sort of looked into it and I was reading into it, and it was a little bit different because there's not a lot of information on the label, but that doesn't make any excuses for my lack of preparation. So I wanted to give this one a little bit more of a redo, I suppose, and that is the Liberty Distillery Trust Whiskey, the Madeira cask. Now, the single cask range, this is very interesting because this one is 100% unmalted barley, so it's green barley, triple distilled, and then aged for just over a little bit over 3 years in Madeira cask. So it's not finished in Madeira, it's 100% aged in Madeira. But the unmalted grain one is the very interesting element because there's not a huge amount of, in Canada, distilleries doing unmalted grain distillations. The green grain sort of leans into the sort of more traditional single grain styles from Japan and Ireland. So even in Ireland, I think they do a little bit of a blend, but there's a lot of green barley being used in both of those countries for their whiskies. Triple distilled, so it's going to be a super clean distillate, and then put into Madeira cask, which, if you ever taste Madeira, really great fortified wine, lots of flavor, lots of body. Aged for just over 3 years in 220 liters, so it's a substantial size barrel too. On the nose, definitely grain forward. A little bit of sweetness on the Madeira side. Madeira is very interesting. Madeira sort of leans into the sherry category in the way that there's a big spread of different flavors. Like sherry goes from phenos to PXs. Madeira is very similar. It's not a one-trick pony sort of thing. Getting lots of nice oak tones. You can tell the oak has been used before. You've got that sort of age to it in the way of a dusty oak. Surprisingly fresh. Grain forward. Spicy notes from the Madeira. Spicy notes from Madeira and and their cask. Casks, you have to imagine how many times they used it for Madeira. I don't know. But they usually use Madeira a couple times, so it becomes a little bit of a strain tea bag. So the notes you're going to get out of that is very particular notes that haven't imparted into Madeira. And the Madeira is definitely there. Nice spice tones, 42% alcohol, which is fantastic. This is an interesting one. This is definitely a sipper, but it's one of those rarities that you have to. It reminds me a lot of single grains from Japan. So you should go and get it. Don't think you can find this anywhere. Even at the distillery, I think it's all sold out, but I do know that Vessel has a few bottles, which is where I picked this up. So go down to Vessel Liquor in Oak Bay and you can pick up a couple of these. But this is the number 62, the Trust Whiskey Madeira. Unmalted barley, triple distilled, aged in 220 liter Madeira cask for just over 3 years. That's number 62. See you tomorrow. Bye.